Hey, Devlin here. I'm about to take a walk down memory lane. Why don't you join me? I want to talk a little bit about Charlie's Angels. I was a big fan. I was a little boy when it first came out. So I didn't watch it for the reason most people watch Charlie's Angels because, well, it was known for being a TNA show. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Charlie's Angels, it was the story about three women that were taken in by a man named Charlie. They were police officers, but they became private investigators, and with the help of Bosley, the three would go on and solve crimes. It was a huge hit and lasted for about 6 or 7 years. I pretty much watched the first three or four, but when they started changing it up too much, it got a little convoluted. The original lineup was Jaclyn Smith, Kate Jackson, and Farrah Fawcett Majors at the time. That was still one of my favorite selections. But honestly, when Farrah Fawcett left after season 2, they brought Cheryl Ladd in as Chris, and she was just as awesome. She played her younger sister. Now, I wanted to share some of the toys I have. As I said, I knew I was a gay man at a young age, so I looked at Charlie's Angels as heroes. I didn't look at them as, sex objects. But the show was definitely trying to do that. Everybody remembers the famous Pharah Poster poster that pretty much every, teen probably had in their bedroom. I wish I had that poster. Sometimes if you look in the back, you can see I have like a small version of it because I love the picture. But I became a fan of Charlie's Angels, and it wasn't just watching the show. I actually became a fan. I'd play Charlie's Angels with my friends, especially my friend Wayne and Tia. We would all play the Angels. I would love playing Jaclyn Smith. She was my favorite of the Angels. And yeah, we solve crimes. I remember my dad used to work at Royal Insurance, and they used to have these build folds that you could use, and we used to put a sticker from the Charlie's Angels cards, so it looked like our identification badges, which was pretty funny because sometimes they were really sexy pictures. So it's like I'm Kelly Garrett, and here's this gorgeous picture of Jaclyn Smith. She was definitely my favorite. And speaking of those Charlie's Angels cards, I actually still have some of them around the house. I didn't find them by the time of this recording, but I've heard that if I had them in mint condition, they're worth a lot now. The pink collection especially, which was the first. So I have some, but they're not in mint condition. I used to love these. I used them in so many ways. Like, we used to play a card game with them called Crazy Bosleys that we used to shuffle. So they're all like dog-eared and stuff. But I still like seeing them, and they were the first thing I collected. The second thing I desperately wanted was the dolls. Now, I knew I was a gay boy, and maybe my parents did too. They certainly figured out later in life, but trying to convince my dad that these were action figures and not dolls was a little hard. But I did, and I used my own money. I saved my allowance up, and I finally got the Charlie's Angels dolls. Well, I got some of them. These are my actual original Charlie's Angels dolls. Mike has done a great job trying to get them back. Now, they're not in the original outfits. I think they're in the wrong colors. I think she was in a different color for sure. A lot of this is still the original. Like, these are the original jumpsuits they wore. This is, of course, the Jaclyn Smith, Kelly Garrett. And they're a little loose, but I'm glad I kept them from my youth. As I said, I played a lot with them. I just loved it. And it was, not my first Barbie, but definitely, yeah, I think they were my first Barbie. I don't even count them Barbies because I convinced my dad so much that they were action figures that I started believing him. Then we got the Kate Jackson one. Again, they're not in the right colored outfits, though I believe she was in red. I don't know why. I think Kelly was originally in yellow, but I don't have it around anywhere. Because white was Farrah Fawcett, Jill Monroe, and I never had that doll. So I'm not sure why I've got the white thing. Now, my friend had it, so maybe that's his, or maybe I picked it up somewhere along the way. Anyhow, this was Kate Jackson. She played Sabrina Duncan, and yeah, she was the smart one. So I don't even know if she'd wear an outfit like this. Sabrina, for any of you Charlie's Angels fan know, she was always the I'll be the reporter, while the other ones were always playing the roller derby or the porn star, the massage therapist, or the sexy person, the bikini models, whatever. But Sabrina was the bright one. And finally, as I said, I don't have the Farrah Fawcett one, but I do have Cheryl Ladd's Chris Monroe. I believe green was her original color. They have their original boots that weren't the original boots on the Sabrina one. I liked Chris a lot. I actually saw the Pharah. As I said, my friend had Pharah, and I liked it, but I never got a chance to get it. Pharah also had a big doll, but no way in heck I was going to convince my dad that that was a thing. Though I did get the Wonder Woman doll. I wish I had it, but I don't. I'm glad I held on to these because they gave me so much love. Mike also fixed up their hair a bit because it was quite coarse. And he used some, I think it was a fabric softener sheet, I think he told me. But he made them look really good so we could actually put them in display because for the longest time they were just in a closet. And it's too bad because, you know, this is a wonderful part of my youth right here. And I don't regret, like you can probably see I collect a lot of toys and most of the time I take them out of the box because I'm not doing it for money. I do it for memories. And so those are my 3 original Charlie's Angels dolls that I had. Now, I wish I had this when I was a kid. The only other Charlie's Angels things I remember having is I didn't get the Farrah Fawcett poster, but I did have one of the 3 original Angels, and that hung proudly in my bed. Because I actually did have some ladies hanging on my bed. I guess I was afraid that people might know I was gay, and I wasn't ready to deal with it, so I wasn't ready for anybody else. But later on in life, my friend actually got me this. And it was really rough shape, but I'm very happy that I'm a proud owner of the Charlie's Angels game. For anybody who's played any of these kind of TV show, movie oriented at the time, it's not a very exciting game. And I think there's actually a couple pieces missing, but I'm so proud to own this. And one day I hope to get another one where I can make a complete set. But right now I'm very happy to own this, even though it looks like it's been well loved. And I'll be honest, I actually like seeing toys when they're like this because it means that there was other kids out there who was loving the same things I was. In most recent years, they haven't really released a lot of Charlie's Angels stuff, more geared to the Drew Barrymore, Lucy Liu, Cameron Diaz movies, or, you know, all the many attempts that they tried to redo it. But every once in a while I find a piece that I love, and although I never got the famous Pharah poster, they recently released this in a pop vinyl, and I am so happy to have picked it up. This is supposed to be that poster, her infamous poster as a pop, and I am so glad to have this. I got this during the pandemic. I didn't order a lot of stuff during the pandemic, but this is one of the things I did because I didn't want to miss getting this. And I was so happy when it came out. Even shows you the, you know, the famous blanket she had. And yeah, as you can see, I still have a fondness for Charlie's Angels. I also have all the DVDs, and I still put them on once in a while, usually for a laugh, because anybody who knows Charlie's Angels, it followed a similar formula all the time. The girls would investigate, they'd ask too many questions. One of them would find a filing cabinet that would give them some information. One of them always usually got caught, and then the other ones would have to come to her rescue. It's pretty much the formula of most things. Every once in a while they tried to do a different one. Like one of my favorites was always the one where Kelly gets shot in the head. Why I like it so much is I used to be so upset because Kelly was my favorite, but when I watch it now I laugh because she gets shot point blank in the head. And when they come to see her, she's actually awake the next day and she's got like this little patch, and it just makes me laugh. But my favorite episode will always be Angels and Chains. I'm happy to hear that ABC used to run that a lot because apparently it was everybody's favorite. It plays out like an exploitation film where the girls have to wind up in a prison where they're looking for a missing girl who was there. And they go in the prison and they find out that there's a whole using the prisoners wearing beautiful, lovely outfits to entertain very prominent men in the state. So it goes from being this exploitation, women in prison, to prostitution, to just so much. And to make things worse, they get their contact dies and they can't get out, so they have to make a prison break. You get a lot for your 45 minutes, but apparently it was very popular, probably because of the hosing down scene that they did back in the 70s. It's all pretty tame when you watch it now, but when there wasn't much going on in the world, I guess a lot of guys enjoyed that. Anyhow, I love Charlie's Angels. I hope to collect more stuff from Charlie's Angels. And if you used to love Charlie's Angels, let me know down in the comments and share your experiences with it. Did you hate it? Did you love it? Do you have some of these things that I collected or stuff that I might want to know about? Thanks for watching this memory lane, and I'll talk to you very soon.